Okay, and now for the English. I'm sorry for the few minutes delay. I had to check a few words and facts. So today's words, as given to me, were tapir or tapir. It can be pronounced. The animal's name can be pronounced anyway, so it rhymes with paper or appear. I think I'll go with tapir because I like it more. Then crescent moon. Then marble as the stone. Then marble as the children's toy. Then echo. Then pyramid. Then abyss. And then a word which has two meanings in Slovene. In Slovene it was repotulica, which can be a rattle, the toy, or it can be a chatterbox. And I played with the latter. So the story was how, there is this realm between the material and the spiritual or the immaterial, like for example the voice. There is the material, the body, that like the objects that you can touch, and then there is the immaterial, the spiritual, the mind, and then there is something in between, like the bridge, for example the voice. But the voice is neither material nor immaterial. Or if you imagine this like ethereal place, or like some spiritual landscape where souls abide before they're incarnated down to earth through the uterus and out into the body, they also need a bridge. And in this realm of the bridge-like reality, this is also where, if you ever wondered how you go to a store and you see a pair of shoes and it costs like, I don't know, 20 euros, and you go to another store and you see a different pair of shoes and it costs 400 euros. And how does that make sense? Who decides the prices and the value of shoes, and why are they so far apart? And now the reason this is a joke that you have lost in English because the Slovene language functions differently, but never mind. So these tapirs are inhabitants of this bridge world between the immaterial and the material, and their task, their job, their mission is to put a price tag on each pair of shoes before it is then put through into the material world and put on shelves and is being sold. And it's like there's this place and there are these workshops and there are millions and millions and millions of tapirs just working there and pricing shoes and deciding on the value of shoes. And because tapir is an odd-toed ungulate, they don't have even toes, they have odd toes. Their whole way of life has adapted to that. So one tapir cannot have an even number of shoes to value. So they always get an odd number of shoes. They get shoes in pieces of 3, in batches of 3, which means they get one pair of shoes and then they get one singular shoe. And that's why they also have to work in pairs, because the other tapir also get one pair of shoes and one singular shoe. So then each tapir values the pair by themselves, and then the singular shoe they will put together and they will decide on the value together. So they have to work separately, individually, but they also have to work as a team. And they work from full moon to half moon, because they need time off, obviously, and they work night and day for about a fortnight. So from full moon to crescent moon they work, and then they take half a moon off. And when they do, they go into these marble pyramids and they rest, and this is their time off. And then this fortnight when they don't work, they really pamper themselves. They have jacuzzis, they have massage rooms, they have warm oil, they have all these pampering facilities. So then when full moon comes and they go back to work again, they are at their full power and they can price shoes quickly and efficiently. And they've been at this for centuries and thousands of years, and they're really good at it. And then what happened one special evening just close to the end of the cycle, that one pair of tapirs got a pair of shoes that were turquoise, that were this very specific color. And it so happened, this had never happened before, that one of the tapirs loved the color and the other one thought it hideous and ridiculous, and he was like, "What? That's neither blue nor green, this is a ridiculous color, whoever would want to buy a pair of shoes like that?" And just like that, there was an abyss between them, and they could not reconcile this difference of perceptions and views. And they were like tossing their opinions and their beliefs like a marble, like children throw the marble between them. And one would say, "No, but this is a beautiful color, these shoes look exquisite, they have to be priced for at least 400, 500 euros. And the other one was like, "No, are you ridiculous? No one's ever going to buy a pair of shoes of that color. If we price them 10 euros, that's like a generous price." And they were really arguing and tossing this marble of opinion and conviction, like to and fro, and whatever one of the peers would say, the other would echo, but diametrically opposite. So they would say, one would say, "That's beautiful," he would say, "No, it's hideous," and they would just echo the contrast of each other's opinions to and fro. And there was just growing uprising, conflict, escalating higher and higher, and they didn't seem to be able to reach a conclusion. So then what happened? As they were fighting, their voices were raised higher and higher, and then the local chatterbox tapir happened to come by. You know, the one that spread all the news, all the gossip through the entire village. And of course she was quick to pick up on the conflict, and soon enough every tapir had left every workshop in the land, and all just came rushing, like millions of tapirs just came rushing to the spot to witness this unprecedented conflict of pricing shoes. And they just stood there and they started to build their own camps, like the part that thought turquoise was a beautiful color and the part that thought it was terrible. And they started to take part and to cheer for one or the other. And the abyss was just growing deeper and deeper, and they didn't seem to reach a conflict. It was just, a shitstorm of opinions and anger and ego over ego against ego. And I'm sure everyone's wondering how they managed to reconcile, how they managed to find a compromise. But alas, I don't know, because what happened, as they were arguing, as they were struggling, as they were trying to reach a compromise, crescent moon appeared. So there was the end of the cycle, and they had to stop work. So everyone just dropped everything and they went back to the marble pyramids to rest. So the conflict, the dispute remained unsolved, and it will have to wait until the next full moon. And then if we have time, and if I don't forget, we can go back and we can peek to this land again and see how they solved it. And should we forget to go there on time and they will have priced the shoes and send them out, then we'll just have to keep an eye out on these shoes when they come to our material world. So I'm asking anyone, if you happen to, like in the next few weeks or so, if you happen to stumble upon a pair of turquoise shoes, please let us all know what they cost, because I want to know, and I think everyone else wants to know what their final decision was. So that was today's impro translated as well, and I thank you all for watching. And tomorrow at 6 p.m. local time, I need some keywords from someone, and I'm looking forward to that. So see you tomorrow at 6. Bye bye.